Alright, y'all, what's going on? What's going on? Alright, so today I am eating some salmon croquettes and some potatoes and some biscuits. I did a cooking video on how I made the croquettes, so I don't know in which order I'm going to drop the video, but yeah, you will get a cooking video on how I made these. I actually got the recipe from a friend who also has a YouTube page, so I will link the video to make them in the description box of the cooking video. So yeah, so I'm gonna say grace and get started. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this food I'm about to receive for nourishment in my body and health. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe. If you aren't new but haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Leave some comments down below. Let us know things you'd like to see us try. What else? Hit that bell so you get notifications the next time we post a video. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Okay. All right, so I am so hungry. I ate earlier today, like for breakfast, and I haven't eaten anything since because I had to go to the store, then I took a nap. So this sauce, this white sauce that I have, I just put some I was gonna make it like a mayo dill sauce, but I didn't have a whole lot of mayo, and I know I don't know. I thought I had another mayo around here, but I guess I don't. So I just took the tartar sauce that I already had, added some dill to it, put some Old Bay, some Cajun seasoning, and that's it. And then I got some Alaga syrup here for my biscuits, because y'all know I like Alaga with my biscuits. And then I have some honey because she actually ate her croquettes with honey, so I'm going to try it with the honey too. Alright, so I am going to... I'm sorry, this is not like... They're not like super hot because I had to do a lot after I got finished with that video. I had to... Really good. Oh, I meant to take a picture. Now, I may or may not use this in here to give y'all a close-up of everything. But I see other people giving close-ups or whatever, so... Y'all see that? Alright. Sorry, I had to take a picture so I could send it to her. So I told her I would let her know when I made them. But that's really good. I use fresh salmon. Yeah, basically I'm a chef. So yeah, how y'all doing? Y'all surviving in quarantine? Yeah. Somebody told my sister that I made that biscuit video. She called my dad. And my dad, he was mad. He said, I can't believe you. He said, but I called him. So I usually call him every day, Monday through Friday, but I usually don't call him on the weekend. But I called him today's Saturday. And as soon as I usually, I yell, I'd be like, Daddy. And then he yelled, be like, Sonny. But he didn't yell today. Today, he was like, how could you? Eating with the honey is good too. That's good. I warm my syrup up, which is good because my biscuits aren't warm. Like, They're just room temperature. That's cool. Oh yeah, so remember I was telling y'all about Penny, my 600-pound life. I was watching it again. I wash my hands like a flash, so don't be nervous. My hands look a little ashy. I've been washing my hands constantly. Especially while I was cooking today. So Penny, she was one of the ones that it wasn't a successful story. Last night I was watching an episode, and it was like basically moments of my 600-pound life. So it was like looking back on the different episodes of the season, and I guess they were all in the seasons, but some of the episodes I hadn't seen because on Hulu it starts from season 2. But so of course they look back on Penny, and I forgot to say this part. Well, I couldn't remember what she had said, but this girl, after she got the surgery, right, and she had a special diet. First of all, she was like, I didn't know, I have to call the doctor and see why I have this diet. Like, I don't know why I'm on this diet, because she was on a low carb diet, right? And then she's gonna say, I wasn't aware that I had to lose weight when I got here. Midnight, what? Like, what do you mean? The whole point of you getting the surgery was it's a weight loss surgery. You're supposed to lose some weight. Like, what do you mean you didn't know you had to lose weight? Penny was clearly delusional, and her husband ain't helped. After Dr. Now came and cussed her out, right? He was like, I'm gonna go get you some ice cream. You're part of the problem, okay? Yeah, so I am here by myself. Both of the kiddos are gone with their fathers. I was a little nervous about Bubby because, you know, he only 5 months and his immune system ain't really built up, you know what I'm saying? And so him being here and getting, it was funny. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about Lauren, because Lauren was like, well, why he can't go sing? And I was like, well, you know, like, what's the difference between the breast milk that he already has versus, you know, what he would get from me fresh, you know what I'm saying, right from me now. And I'm just like, well, you know, and this is very true, that him getting fresh breast milk, you know, him suckling on my breast, you know, sends signals to my body to know what kind of milk to make for him, you know what I'm saying? So if he's sick, you know, my body knows to put some, you know, obviously have some further antibodies in there that protects him or whatever. That's so true. So true. So yes, the milk that they already have, or that I pump, does have antibodies and, you know, other health benefits in it. Fresh milk really helps a player, you know. So about one of the many things that she sad at me about. So now I'm gonna tell y'all my story about what me and Gavin. But one, I really just don't know what my little baby is going through, man. He is going through something, and I just don't understand. So he's with his dad today, and he's been over there for some days now. And why did he burn himself with the iron, y'all? He put the iron on his face. He said he wanted to see if the iron was hot. So he put it on his face, y'all. Burned his little cheek. It's just like, one, first of all, this ain't the time to be messing yourself up, okay? Because the hospitals really ain't seeing. I mean, obviously, if it was really bad, they would see him or whatever. But they really, you know, are not really seeing non-critical, you know, patients and stuff. But probably dangerous to go to the hospital anyway. Maybe because, you know, real sick people are there. Possibly. I don't know. But still, it's just not the time to be jacking yourself up. And then it's just like, dude, of all things, you would put it on your face to see if it was hot? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. He just, I don't know, y'all. And I just think that he trying to take me out. And, I mean, he probably is looking for some attention or whatever. And I just be trying to tell him, like, you know, you do stuff and it's not going to get you the attention that you want. You know. But he just be doing stuff. But then my dad was just like, or my dad always says, like, he's a kid. You know, basically he's a kid. He's very mature in some areas, but at the end of the day, he is a kid. And then I'm trying to think back of, you know, when I was little. Now, I still have a scar from one time when I burned myself on the iron. But I wasn't trying to see if it was hot. I was ironing my baby doll's clothes, and somehow I burnt myself. Maybe the iron fell on my arm or something like that. It's on my arm. On this arm. Yeah, but I just don't. So, before I went back to work, got that blue ghetto juice. This is mixed berry. I ain't what it was called when I was little, but yeah. And I'm mad I only got one pack of it. Maybe because it wasn't what I thought it was. So before I went back to work, you know, I had made a decision to let Gavin get on the bus and come home, and, you know, be here by himself until I get home. Well, he happens to be really good. Make sure he has his key. Get in the house and stuff like that, you know, doing his homework. Well, I don't know what got into little homie, but when I went back to work, like, things just went awry. Like, and obviously he was cool when I was home. But I would be here. Most days I would be here. Only time I wouldn't be here is if Grayson had a doctor's appointment. But for the most part, I would be here when he got home from school. Most of the time I wasn't going anywhere, and if I did, I made sure I was home by the time he got home from school. So, I go back to work, things were just going awry, man. Like, well, one day he dropped his phone on the bus, left the phone on the bus. And how I found that out was because, you know, I come home, he's supposed to call me as soon as he gets in the house after he, you know, closed the door and stuff like that. And I get in the house and I'm like, why you ain't call me? And he was like, I kind of lost my phone. I said, what do you mean you lost it? Where is it at? And he's like, I don't know. That's not an acceptable answer. You should know where the phone is. Talking about it fell out his pocket. Now, in the NW video, you can see the coat that he has. And he has two front pockets. those pockets aren't like really shallow. They're kind of deep, and like there's no way that the phone just dropped out of the pocket. So I was like, dude, how did you lose it? And what do you mean you don't know where it is? Excuse me. So luckily it was still on the bus. You know, he got it back the next day because he didn't. I could take him to school in the morning, so he didn't get it back to the afternoon. But luckily, the bus drivers had it. Yeah. But this is the story. So one day he leaves his book bag on the bus, and his house key is in his book bag, and I don't realize. So I left my phone upstairs on my desk because I had went downstairs and walked one of my co-friends out and end up seeing the other two. Well, I'm downstairs shooting the crap with them. And I get back to my desk about 3:10, 3:13, something like that. He had called me and was like, hey, he called me a couple times and he texted me. He's like, hey, Mom, I left my book bag on the bus. And I'm like, why is he telling me that he left his book bag on the bus? And it didn't really dawn to me, so I was texting him back. In the midst of texting him back, and then it clicked. I was like, oh, shoot, he don't got his key. So I tried to call him back, and he didn't answer the phone. Well, no, he tried to answer, but he wasn't in range of the Wi-Fi, so he tried to answer, but it wouldn't connect or whatever. Because he has a phone, but it can't call out. It can only, he can only use it on Wi-Fi. So, I'm like, oh, F. Like, so I keep trying to call him, and he didn't pick up after that time because it wouldn't connect, so I hung up. And yeah, so then I kept trying to call him. So Lauren, she keeps Bubby, but she has 2 other little ones that's at home with her. But I think probably by this time tonight, my niece probably was home, so she probably could have at least, scooped Bubby up and picked him up. In any event, I called my mom first because my mom lives like literally 5 minutes away probably not even 5 minutes away from me. So she would have been able to get here the quickest if she was at home. Luckily, she was at home. She was on her way out the door to go to work, but called her. She came and picked him up, and he was walking. So we live on the back road, but it's like which is really weird. Columbus just doesn't have a whole lot of sidewalks a lot of places or whatever. So the road that he was on, our road leading to our apartment, does not have sidewalks or whatever. So he was walking but I don't know, it has like a little brim or whatever before you get to the grass and stuff like that. So he was walking down the street. He said he was walking to Wendy's, hoping that maybe they would give him something to eat when he got there. Y'all, the boy trying to get me locked up, okay? He'd have went up in there and they'd have been like, on top of the fact that you was at home by yourself, she ain't feed you either. Like, I'd have been locked up. I'd have been in jail. I've been doing YouTube videos from jail. So yeah, she got to him and he was crying and stuff like that, and he was probably definitely really scared. He wasn't cold. I think he said his hands was cold because for whatever reason, I can't get this kid to keep up with other things, like anything really. Like his gloves, I'm like, as soon as he take a pair of gloves to school, he lose them like the same day. It's ridiculous. Hats, I don't understand. I tell him, when you take the hat off, put it in your coat so that you know where it is. And it should be on your head. It should be on your head when you go outside. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't know where your hat is, because it should be on your head. He has left his coat at school before in the dead of winter, and I should have made him, like, this was maybe kindergarten, 1st grade year, and I should have made him go to school and be without the coat or whatever, just so he could see what it feels like to keep, so he would keep the coat or whatever. But now, knowing Gavin, that wouldn't have stopped him. He'd have just been like, oh, well, I'm just cold. Like, these new age kids are something else, and they real bold, y'all. They real bold. So, but yeah, he was cold, and I was so scared. And then, like, when he called me, he only called me called me a lot of times, and then he texted my sister, but she said she never got the text message. But he couldn't have called my mom because he can only, you know, with only the Wi-Fi capability, he can only call people who have other people who have iPhones or whatever, or Apple products. But he has so many people in his contact list that he didn't even call. He didn't think to call anybody else. He just called me. He didn't even call his dad. Like, and he had just came back. I think was coming back from his dad's house, so his dad took him to school that morning, and then he was coming back home. And I'm just like, dude, y'all just don't know. That I was a nervous wreck. He was too, but I was scared out of my mind, like, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, we talk about stuff. Like, he did do a couple things that I did ask him to do. I was like, you know, if you're ever in trouble or whatever, go to the lease office and have them call me or whatever, or ask them to use the phone, because he knows my number by heart. But and so our leasing office is being renovated right now, still being renovated. They're trying to add a gym, so the leasing office is now in an apartment building. So he said he did go to the door where it says that the leasing office is, but she didn't answer the door. Oh hell no, I just swear. So she didn't answer the door, and then he didn't think to, I'm sure he realized that he left his book bag on the bus when he got off the bus, but he didn't ask. There are other kids that get off on the bus, and he knows one of them or whatever. And well, he probably knows all of them. He definitely knows this one girl, and I know she has a cell phone, but he didn't think to ask her to use her cell phone or whatever. And yeah, I probably didn't tell him, you know, obviously. I mean, I would have, you know, I was kind of like, he wasn't going to be out there by himself. I was going, you know, but I left work immediately or whatever, but my mom got to him, and I was a wreck. Like, she had to go to work, so I met her at her job, and he was there, and like, even when I got to him, I couldn't stop crying. Like, it was really sad, because that was like really scary, and I mean, mostly my fault or whatever. I should have, I don't know, y'all. That was really scary. So, yeah. And I'm like, what were you doing that you left your... First of all, let me tell y'all. This bus ride, we live less than... Depending on traffic, we probably live 5 minutes away from his school. I'm not kidding. But his bus ride is like less than 10 minutes. What were you doing in these maybe 10 minutes? Because they get out at 2:45. He gets home at 3 o'clock. What are you doing? What were you doing that you forgot your book bag on the bus? Like, why'd you even take it off? Like, you're not even on the bus for that long. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, Lauren had told him, which I didn't know. I didn't realize that she had told him this, and I was wondering why he kept doing it, because it was actually getting on my nerves that... No, maybe I did tell... Maybe we both did. Maybe I did tell him to have his key ready. I think I did tell him to have his key ready, but she told him to put his key around his neck. So, you know, the first thing he do when he get on the bus is, you know, get on there and put the key around your neck so you ready. Oh, I would just tell him to stop, because he'd be so thirsty to get his homework and stuff done so they can watch TV and stuff like that. So he would have homework in his hand. He would have a book in his hand trying to do his 20 minutes on the bus, which is not 20 minutes because you go on the bus for less than 10 minutes. You know, and other stuff in his hand, and I'm like, this stuff, you need not have anything in your hand because it's prohibiting you from being ready to just get right in the house or whatever. So, and like I tell him, you know, put your lunchbox in your book bag. Like, you have some time. Get your key out. Put your lunchbox in your book bag. So I don't want him to have nothing in his hand but the key ready to open the door. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to be outside as least amount of time as possible. So I'm like, what were you doing that you forgot your book bag on the bus? And he's like, oh, I was talking to my friend. So then, not even a week and a half later, probably a week, he's locked out of the house again because this fool. So after that incident, I had to give him another key. I already had another key. Because when my uncle came to visit, I had like three extra keys. One, he left the key at his dad's house. His dad, I don't know why, but he took the key out of his book bag, saying that it could fall out. Hasn't fell out all this time. But for whatever reason, he took the key out of his book bag. So when I went back to work, but this was while I was still home from work or whatever. So when I went back to work, make sure he had another key in his book bag. I had two. I had Lauren's key, but her and my brother share a key to my place now. So I had her key, and then I had the key that I let my uncle use when he came into town last. So one spare key got extra spare key got put, or he got that turned into his key when he went back to school, or when I went back to work. Then that key was still in his book bag, so I had the other key that I gave to him, and that key was in his coat. Y'all, one weekend, so probably, I don't know, sometime after that happened, like a week or a week and a half after that happened, he took the keys out of his coat and put them in his room. So then he ended up getting locked out of the house again. I said, you have two keys. I said, check your book bag and your coat. Like, one of them keys should be in there. He said he took them out. I said, why did you take them out? Like, that's not what you... Why would you take the keys outside? He don't know, of course. But so this was on a warmer day than it was the day that he left his book bag on the bus. It was like 50, 60 degrees outside, and he had a pretty heavy sweatsuit on, like a sweatpants suit. So I was like, oh, my battery about to die, y'all. I'm gonna keep talking to it. It died. I was like, well, he called me. He was like, he had his phone and left the key on the bus. Alright, y'all, my battery died. Okay, so sorry. Alright, so he called Lauren, and then she texted me. I was on the phone with him as she texted me. I was so pissed. I was actually pissed this day. I wasn't even sad. I was pissed because we had just went through this, and he was telling me how, how scared he was or whatever. I was scared, clearly. That's why I made sure that now he has two keys. He has one in his coat and one in his book bag. The reason why I didn't, well, we'll go into that. Anywho, and so it's like, how do you not have both of the dang old keys at this point? You know what I'm saying? So Lauren texted me. She was like, well, do you want me to go get him? And I was like, nope. He can sit outside on the porch until I get there. Now, luckily for him, I was actually... Don't call children's services on me, y'all. I'm just saying, like, what the frick, bro? Like, you telling me how scared you was, and he had been telling me, he was scared to be. Now he's saying that he's scared to be in the house by himself or whatever because, he's, I don't know, scared that somebody might come in here and shoot him and stuff like that. And I try to reassure him, obviously, nobody can get in without a key. Although we know that, people can use force, whatever. But I just don't want to scare him. I want to reassure him or whatever. And he's not realistically home that long by himself with anyway. And then most of the time we are talking, like, from the time he get home on the phone until I get home or whatever. So yeah, because we're just on the phone because he just liked to have me on the phone, which is fine. I'm totally fine with it. So like I said, it was a warmer day outside. He had a pretty heavy sweatsuit on, and he had that big coat on that y'all saw. It's actually a really big coat, really heavy coat. And so yeah, I was just like, yep, nope, he could sit out there. I was like, well, it's up to you. If you want to go and get him, that's fine. Otherwise, I would just get him. And that day I had a doctor's appointment, so I left work early, so I was out of work. I just had to go get a ultrasound of this thing on my neck or whatever. I think it's a thyroid. I don't know what it is, but I gotta go get it biopsied. But I ain't gonna do, well, no, it's next month sometime, but we'll see if they keep my appointment with things going on. So yeah, so that was that. And I was so pissed that second time. I was just like, dude, we just went through this, and why would you leave the keys in the house? Like, yeah, so that was that. And then, like, you know, I do things strategically because I know my kid or whatever. And so the reason why I didn't put a key or before in his coat is because Gavin likes to leave his coat places. For case in point, probably wasn't that same week. It was by the next week. And these things just kept happening week after week after week. It was something on top of other little stuff that he was doing at home. So then the next week, he goes to recess and he takes his coat off and he leaves his coat outside. So then he comes home without a coat. And again, I should have made him go to school without the dang on coat so that he could be cold, because you want to leave your coat. First of all, it was a warmer day outside, but still, open the coat, don't take it off, because it was warmer, but it wasn't warm enough for him not to have a coat on. And it was just like he just kept doing stuff, and I'm just like, so anywho, that's the reason why a key has not been in his coat, because he likes to do stuff like that and leave his coat all over the place. So the book bag was the most sensible place because, well, one, obviously he won't always have a coat or whatever, so he needs to be used to it being in the same spot. And then the book bag, you gotta bring the book bag home because that's where your homework is or whatever. Now, even if he don't be having his homework in his book bag, at least he definitely always comes home with the book bag or whatever. So, yeah. I just really think Gavin's trying to take me out, y'all. He's trying to take me out. So I've been talking about that a lot recently or lately, just about, you know, parenting or whatever. It's been really hard lately. Really hard. Like, Bubby is easy. Like, right now, Bubby is easy. Like, you know, he a baby. He just be sitting there goo gaga and, you know, be chilling and stuff like that. Like, he don't, you know, he's starting to move around a whole lot, but he's not really a fussy baby or whatever. And no, Lauren, it's not because I be holding him, because you think that I be holding him, and that's why he don't be fussing, because I let him, you know, I let him run me. But I really feel like I've been doing better with Bubby, for real, because Gavin was spoiled. And that's probably the reason why I'm going through what I'm going through now, because Gavin was spoiled. He's been spoiled. We've been together 8 years, and now he has to share me with somebody else, and he's not having it. Okay, he's not having it. And I mean, I kind of went through the same type of thing when me and Bubby's father were together. Gavin wasn't having it. Like, he would say that he liked him, and now he really likes him now, but like, he just didn't like the fact of, you know, us being together or whatever. But yeah, I just don't know. I be telling my dad, I'm just like, dude, you didn't warn us about how hard parenting was gonna be. You just said don't have kids. But I feel like if you had elaborated on that thing and said, you know, don't have kids because X, Y, and Z, because these kids gonna drive you crazy, I would have rethought this thing. Okay, I probably wouldn't have, but I mean, you know, because I didn't plan it, but you know, it just kind of happened. But it's just like, yeah, parenting has been really, really hard with Gavin. I don't know. I hope it get better, you know. I mean, I said I wanted these boys, but Lord, but I guess kids, period, are going to have, you know, girls and boys are going to have their set of challenges. But they said boys supposed to get easier as they get older. But, you know, people have been saying that it don't get easier. I don't know how I feel about that. This is going to be a long video. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm sitting here and I ain't talking about nothing. What else I want to tell y'all? Yeah. So just keep me in y'all prayers, man. Keep Gavin in y'all prayers, you know what I'm saying? I pray that whatever he going through, you know, that he just at least talk to me about it, you know. I don't know what I don't know, you know. And I always tell him, you know, I am here. You know, we could talk about things. Like, I don't ever want him to think that he can't come to me with whatever it is that he's going through. Like, yeah, so I gotta stop before I get emotional, y'all. Okay. So yes, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave some comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that bell so you get notifications the next time we post a video. And we will see you in the next one. Peace out.